I mean, Mario Odyssey, the narrative is just, it is an epic sweeping tale where Bowser captures Peach and then Mario goes after him.
Dude, dude, that pesky Bowser. He's done this like what, 12 times?
He's done it so many times. You think Mario would figure it out, you know? I mean, I don't know. Is this, let me ask you this question, Jake, just food for thought.
Please.
Is
Yeah.
Mario a multiverse? Or do all the games take place in the same timeline? Like the same, like does Bowser just keep coming back and taking Peach?
Listen.
Or because listen, if he keeps coming back, like the dude's got to get some home defense or something because it keeps on happening over and over again.
Listen, you know how for the longest time Zelda fans try to make everything into one like timeline with all the Zelda games?
Yeah,
I think finally Nintendo came out and gave us like this super haphazard like timeline of all the games.
and like Zelda actually is in the same universe and is like on a timeline, right? Like they came out and released lore. Is that the
I mean,
case?
okay, spoiler warning, right?
Okay.
But like if you played Hyrule Warriors, right? Age of
Mm-hmm.
Calamity,
Mm-hmm.
it's a multiverse, right? So the
Oh, because the thing. Okay. Yeah. Because
so
there's a thing that happens. Okay, got it.
yeah. So imagine Nintendo trying to piece together every single mainline Mario into like a single cohesive. No, like, so I actually thought about this, Cameron, while I was playing this and preparing for this episode. Like, Mario's some weird multiverse thing. I think it's only in the same timeline when there's a direct sequel. So Super Mario Galaxy versus Super Mario Galaxy 2,
Right.
something like that. Because Bowser, man, you got to come up with something else. Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Like, there's no story here. It's totally fine because it's Mario. I mean, it just see there's no story, but there is a story, and the story is just like it's just the. I mean, it's at this point, it's almost like a folklore like tale of like Mario chasing after Bowser because he took Peach, and it's just like there's this universe that exists around it in the game, which is actually kind of interesting. Like you could go deep where you're talking about like Jake. What do you call the hat people? Do they have a name? I can't remember.
oh, Cappy is one of the.
Cappy.
No, Cappy's the name of the thing, right? So I don't know. They're from the Cap Kingdom, right? I just
Yeah,
played this
so
game. I should
so
know.
so there's all these like kingdoms, right? And they're all like kind of being attacked by Bowser, and you do these like little quests like in these individual kingdoms, and there's kind of these like mini side stories. I mean, you're on this world map that looks like Earth.
Hmm.
Okay, like it's literally just resembles Earth, and then you're just hopping between these different worlds, like a dinosaur world and a like a robot one, an underwater one. I mean, all the variations of Mario stuff that you've ever seen before,
Yeah.
and they all have these like little side stories to them. Um, and I mean, I don't know. It's just weird because like, yeah, the narrative is super light, and it's just the same Mario shell that they've always done. But for some reason, like it works. Like I'm kind of like interested in like just the little nuances of what's going on, even
Hmm.
though none of it is consequential at all. Like, and I don't even need to think about it. It's just for some reason, like just the way that Nintendo executes these games, it's just on a different level. I don't know. It's hard to explain actually.
Cameron, I think you actually nailed it. So I've been racking my brains trying to come up with some like interesting insight to this type of story. And let's face it, it's a Mario game, like you said. And I mean, it's called Super Mario Odyssey. And I think in this iteration, of Mario and this mainline game, they're really embracing the fact that this comes from travel writing tradition in the sense of like Odysseus, um, the Iliad. We think about
Right.
Odysseus, the Greek dude traveling all across the Mediterranean, going to different islands and having different adventures. That's what Mario's always been. I mean, you go back to the NES, you go back to, Mario in his first, you know, forms. He's traveling between different kingdoms, different places, and they look different. He's encountering different enemies, and he's on a single quest. And so Mario for me is just like Sure, I'm going to say it. Academics everywhere are going to rescind my PhD. But let's face it, this is travel writing. This is Odysseus just like written in modern times for video games. I think people, you know, that I mean that's really what it is. And so this is a story super substantial. I mean, it doesn't give you a ton of information necessarily about each kingdom or what you're doing there or why you're there, except for the fact in Super Mario Odyssey, it's like Bowser's been here and he's stealing something from these people that's important to these people that he wants for this. This is the actual news story. He's forcing a wedding with Princess Peach. And then he has these weird rabbits called the Broodals who are his wedding planning committee, right? And so he steals significant items to try to make the coolest wedding ever from each of these kingdoms. And so you're trying to like restore, cultural integrity to each of these kingdoms, I guess, while trying to take down Bowser. But so super long-winded roundabout way of getting back to a word that you use, Cameron. It's like folklore. I mean, and that's sort of what I think the Mario story has come at this point. It's very tropic, right? It's, hero saves princess from bad guy, right? Learns something along the way, maybe. And it was just, yeah, I don't know. He has a brother named Luigi, I guess, right? And they're plumbers, right? So working class blue collar heroes, whatever. Anyway, the point being that it's like that's what Mario has become, right? And that's what his story is. It's not super substantial, but it's an interesting, fun folklore story that gets retold in a bunch of different ways, and people enjoy it because they just like how that goes. I think that's really. Do I have any? I really like in my notes here. I literally put like this is a Mario game for narrative.